If the integral is defined as the integral of x squared plus 1 over x times the square root of x dx equals f of x over 3 times the square root of x plus c, find the function f of x. First, simplify the denominator, means x times the square root of x equals x times x to the power of 1/2 equals x to the power of 1 plus 1/2 equals 3 over 2, right? So the integral of x squared plus 1 over x to the power of 3 over 2 dx, right? So we have the integral of x squared over x to the power of 3 over 2 equals x to the power of 2 minus 3 over 2 is x to the power of 1/2 dx plus the integral of 1 over x to the power of 3 over 2 equals x to the power of negative 3 over 2 dx. We use the power rule, means 1 over 1/2 plus 1 equals 3 over 2, x to the power of 3 over 2 plus 1 over negative 3 over 2 plus 1 equals negative 1/2, x to the power of negative 1/2 plus c. So we have 1 over 3 over 2 equals 2 over 3 x to the power of 3 over 2 minus 1 over 1/2 equals 2. And we have the negative sign, 2 times x to the power of negative 1/2 is negative 1/2 plus c. So the target format has 3 the square root of x, which is 3x to the power of 1/2. In the denominator, let's rewrite our terms. Equals 2x to the power of 3 over 2 over 3 minus 2 over the square root of x, or the square root of x equals x to the power of 1/2, right? So we have 3 times x to the power of 1/2, and the numerator we have 2 times x to the power of 3 over 2 times x to the power of 1/2 minus 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 2 times x to the power of 3 over 2 times x to the power of 1/2 equals x to the power of 3 over 2 plus 1/2 is 2 minus 6 over 3 the square root of x. So comparing this to f of x over 3 times the square root of x equals f of x over 3 the square root of x. So f of x equals 2x squared minus 6. If the integral of the square root of 1 minus the square root of x whole squared plus 4 times the square root of x dx equals x over 3 times f of x plus c, then what is f of x? First, expand the square, means 1 minus the square root of x whole squared equals 1 minus 2 the square root of x plus x. Now add 4 times the square root of x plus 4 the square root of x equals 1. Negative 2 the square root of x plus 4 the square root of x equals plus 2 the square root of x plus x. Notice that this is a perfect square, means equals the square root of x plus 1 whole squared. So the integral becomes the square root of x plus 1 whole squared dx equals the integral of the square root of x plus 1 dx, right? Or the integral of the square root of x equals x to the power of 1/2 dx plus the integral of 1 dx. If we use the power rule, means 1 over 1/2 plus 1 equals 3 over 2x to the power of 3 over 2 plus the integral of 1 equals x plus c, or 1 over 3 over 2 equals 2 over 3 x to the power of 3 over 2 plus x plus c. And we are told equals x over 3 f of x equals x over 3 f of x, right? So if we factor out x over 3, we have x over 3 times 2 over 3 x to the power of 3 over 2 over x over 3, right? So we have 3 and 3 cancels, so 2 times x to the power of 3 over 2 over x to the power of 1 means x to the power of 3 over 2 minus 1 is 1/2. So 2 the square root of x, right, plus x over x over 3 equals 3 plus 3. So f of x equals 2 the square root of x plus 3.